Good day to you, and happy Canada Day, I might add. Definitely going to hit up some barbecue and festivities in a bit here, but first, it's time for World Cup Daily, and what a day it was, as this World Cup continues to deliver on surprises. I'm Adrian from Rabona TV, and let's get straight into it, starting with Spain and Russia. Hierro made changes once again to his starting lineup, this time bringing back Nacho as their fullback. Asensio was in for Iniesta and playing on the flanks. And it was actually Asensio that had a say in the first Spanish goal of the day, and his whipped delivery to the back post was contested by Sergio Ramos and Ignacevic, and while Ignacevic was wrestling Ramos to the ground, the ball bounced off of his heel and into the back of the net. It probably would have been a penalty for Spain regardless, but there was the 10th own goal of the tournament. Ignacevic became the oldest player to ever score an own goal at the World Cup, as he was 38 years and 352 days old, only a couple weeks-ish away from his 39th birthday. Maybe he'll play in the final on his birthday. Following the goal, we saw a classic Spain game. Dominate the possession by working the ball around their backline and midfield, not in a hurry to get forward, but picking their moments into which to strike. They didn't have many cutting chances in behind the defense at all, but they definitely dictated the play and limited the Russians to very little time on the ball and very little time to attack. Pretty boring game, to be honest, as it was much like the Uruguay versus Portugal game, except with Spain being better at moving the ball around than Portugal. Maybe. I mean, they were just as ineffective. Russia's first real chance came from Dzyuba winning an aerial battle with Ramos, and then the ball eventually finding its way to Golovin, whose curled effort was wide of the goal. But a few minutes later, in the 39th minute from a corner kick, Gerard Piqué's arm was way above his head and blocked Dzyuba's header. Penalty, yellow for Piqué, and a goal from the spot for Dzyuba. Yes, he hit it to De Gea's left once again. And funnily enough, that was the first shot on target for either of the teams. Dzyuba scores his third of the tournament, taking his goal involvement up to 4 of Russia's last 7, with 3 goals and 1 assist for himself. Spain, with all of their dominance in possession and 438 passes attempted in the first half, the most since 1966, only managed to have 4 touches in the Russian box in the first half. But alas, without a shot on target in the first half, Spain still had a goal. Hey, what's up? This is Adrian from the Rabona TV Corrections Department, and I just want to say that Spain actually had 2 shots on target in first half added time. The second half, well, again, it gave me flashbacks to Portugal versus Uruguay, with Spain just passing the ball around the box, Russia's box, and seemingly incapable of creating any meaningful opportunities. I finally awoke from my slumber during the match in the 83rd minute when an Andres Iniesta volley forced a decent save out of Akinfeev, and he had to be aware for the rebound as well from Aspas. By the way, I wasn't actually sleeping. I'm not sleeping on the job. Other than that, these two teams did enough, or didn't do enough, depending how you look at it, to ensure that there would be an extra 30 minutes of time in this match. Hey, one cool thing about extra time now is that teams get a 4th substitution. One cool thing about extra time in this match, not much. I mean, I guess Isco and Iago Aspas running into each other in the box, but other than that, nothing. Russia's only shot on target was their penalty up to that point. Spain were still just passing around for passing's sake until the hero we needed came onto the pitch, Rodrigo, here to save this match and create some excitement with his direct run down the right, his strike that Akinfeev saved, and then the Carvajal rebound which was blocked. Great save by Akinfeev there. And I mean, other than that, besides Rodrigo looking a threat at times, extra time was much like the entirety of the match. Shootout time. And let me try to dramatize this for you, just a little bit, to make it a little more interesting than a match itself. Iniesta steps up. If he misses, it could be his last moment as a Spanish player. Even if he scores, is this the last that we'll see of him in the Spanish shirt? He hits it, goal. Fyodor Smolov, double sleeves as I like to call him, up against De Gea. A chance for De Gea to shut up his critics. He gets a hand to the ball, but it still goes in. Piqué next. He steps up. He shoots left, in off the post. Goal. Well taken. 2-1, back to Russia now to make it 2-2. Old man Ignacevic steps up and does a bizarro run-up. De Gea dives the same way as he always does, and it goes in. 2-2. Russia, Spain. Spain up next. Koke steps up, shoots left. Akinfeev saves. The Russians go crazy. Now, it's Golovin's chance, the most hyped player of this tournament for Russia. And De Gea dives to his right again and doesn't save it again. Golovin puts it away. Sergio Ramos steps up now, and as cool as you like, he puts it past Akinfeev with a fun little run-up to boot. 3-3. Cheryshev steps up to make it 4-3 for Russia. De Gea dives to the same way once again, but Cheryshev is a clever boy and puts it straight down the middle. 4 4-3 Russia. Spain has to score. Iago Aspas is next for Spain, who has an incredible penalty record at the club level, by the way. He goes down the middle, Akinfeev dives right, but hangs his leg out in desperation and saves it. Russia win the shootout 4-3 and Spain are out. Germany, gone. Portugal, gone. Argentina, gone. Spain, gone. Man, what an achievement for the hosts who were playing for penalties all along, really. Spain had 74% possession, but Russia defended for their lives, and they did well in the shootout, meaning they have reached their second quarterfinals in their history and their first since 1968. Hierro's dirty paws were all over this match, however, as he made some questionable decisions throughout, leaving a relatively useless Koke in there forever, not starting Iniesta when he should have brought Asensio on as an impact sub instead, taking Diego Costa out of the match, taking out David Silva, etc. All weird decisions by him. So, Russia move on, ready to take on the winners of the next match, Croatia versus Denmark. And what happened in this one? Well, I'll tell you after I watch it. Give me a sec. Hang on, before I get to the Croatia versus Denmark match, Iniesta announced after the Spain loss that he was retiring from international football, so here's a quick little tribute to what the legend has done for the Spanish team. In total, he played 131 matches for Spain, scoring 13 goals along the way. As part of the Barcelona core that led Spain to back-to-back major titles, he played an integral role in their Euro 2008 victory, their 2010 World Cup victory in which he scored the winning goal and was the man of the match in the final, and their Euro 2012 triumph. A true legend that probably should have started that match against Russia, but that's all hindsight. And let's move on to the Croatia versus Denmark match now. We seemingly had to go through the pain of Spain versus Russia in order to see the antithesis of that match, Croatia versus Denmark. And boy, were we ever treated to some action early when a long throw into the box led to a scramble that ended with Mattias Jorgensen just slipping the ball into the back of the net. It took just 57 seconds for a goal to arrive, and I feel for Subasic on this one because he was so close to saving it. Then 2 minutes later, Croatia went the other way, and from a somewhat fractured play, the ball ended up at the foot of Mario Mandzukic, and he made no mistake, leveling the match. It was only the second match in the history of the World Cup that had both teams score within the first 4 minutes. Last time, 2014, Argentina versus Nigeria. AKA, we had 2 goals in 220 seconds in this match. In the first match, that's how long it felt it took the Spaniards to work the ball from their back line to the Russian midfield. But anyways, enough ragging on that match. From there, Croatia were dictating the play more, but Denmark weren't passengers. In fact, they did well to make the game difficult for Croatia, as the Croatians were forced into playing many more long balls than they would have liked, instead of keeping the ball on the ground. In the first half, at least. And then from there, while it was a little more exciting than the Russia versus Spain match, it wasn't the high-paced, blistering action that the first 4 minutes had promised us for the rest of it. There were chances in either direction, don't get me wrong, but it was no France-Argentina as far as goals or quality opportunities went. In the second half, it was largely the same story as the first, with Croatia perhaps having the better chances, but Denmark coming close on a couple of occasions throughout. And let's just skip right ahead into extra time. The Danish tactics could be described as long throw-in. Boy was hucking balls into the box on every opportunity they had, trying to replicate what worked for them in the very first minute of the match. And to be honest, Denmark looked the more dangerous team in the first half of extra time, but in the second, Croatia looked to have finished them off when Ante Rebic rounded Kasper Schmeichel and had an open goal to shoot on, but was tripped from behind by Jorgensen. Penalty, and only a yellow card for Jorgensen, which was interesting to me because it was a clear denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. However, with the amendment to the rules, as long as there is a clear attempt on the ball, then no red is required. If it's a blatant handball or a cynical foul from behind where they just start taking out the player, then it's a red. I guess the referee thought he made a genuine attempt at the ball, and I was okay with it, especially after seeing the image from behind the goal. You can see that he only had eyes for the ball. From the ensuing penalty, Modric stepped up and hit it fairly poorly. But a massive credit to Kasper Schmeichel for guessing the right way to save it. And he'd have to do a lot more guessing in this one. Why? Because with that, we had our second shootout of the day. So allow me to dramatize it again for you. The first shooter was Denmark's Christian Eriksen, the Spurs' ledge. Sorta. And Subasic dove to his right and touched the ball off onto the post. A miss to start for Denmark. The first shooter for Croatia was Badal, up against Schmeichel, who saved already in the match from the spot. And Schmeichel saved once again, diving to his right and saving with his legs. Danish captain Kjær He ran up and smashed it into the roof of the net. Unsavable. It was in before Subasic could even react. Now it was time for Andrej Kramaric, and he brought up the old stutter step. Schmeichel didn't like that, and it rolled past him without him even reacting. He wanted it to be taken once again, but no. He didn't come to a complete stop, so it stood. 1-1. Next for Denmark, Krondelli, and he rolled it to Subasic's right to make it 2-1 Denmark. Modric stepped up with redemption on his mind, with the fear of the penalty he missed still lingering in his brain. He chose to go right down the middle, and it paid off, just narrowly missing Schmeichel's legs. But I like it. I don't get why more players don't just smash it down the middle, because all these keepers are diving left, right, left, right, left, right. Shona, Denmark, shoots in the same direction as Eriksson, and Subasic saved again. Still 2-2 at this point, but with Croatia given an opportunity to go ahead by 1. Pivaric was up next. He took a stupid run-up, which always spells trouble, and Schmeichel saved his third penalty of the day. Jorgensen, Denmark. It's now sudden death hours of the shootout. Aimed to Subasic's left, and Subasic saved! And now it came up to Rakitic to seal the deal up against the behemoth that was Schmeichel on the day, who'd saved 3 penalties already. He looked calm and cool in the lead-up, also in the run-up, and he rolled the ball into the corner as Schmeichel dove the wrong way. Croatia goes through, and Denmark eliminated. God, you always feel bad for a team that goes out thanks to a shootout. But in the end, Croatia would have ended this match in extra time if Rebic hadn't been taken out from behind and denied that goal-scoring opportunity. So, as much as it sucks to see, the universe was put back into the balance, with Croatia ending up being the winners of that game. We didn't get a Uruguay-Ghana type thing. Meaning, Croatia will be facing Russia in the World Cup quarterfinals. Interesting matchup. And the way that Russia shithoused their way through that match, it makes it almost impossible to call it. But hey, that's it from old Adrian from Rabona TV today. I'm off to celebrate Canada Day, but I'll be back for World Cup Daily tomorrow. Of course, it's daily, man. Thanks for watching, guys. Love ya, and stay safe.